Greetings. I return to you now, at the turn of the tide. That was the wrong voice for the right quote. Tell me where it's from for a bonus point. But I'm not going to re-record it now. And this is weird, recording only in audio without video. I'm sure you're upset, but you get to listen to my dulcet tones without seeing my visage. We had to record this one kind of on short notice. As it turns out, there's a lot to this whole video thing. But, we just did the top 5 of 2024 pod. If you haven't listened to that, go check it out. Lots of clips coming out as well. And we had to get this one kind of out the door pretty quick to get back to our bi-weekly cadence. So here we are. And it's a fun one. We do the Golden Globes. And they're relevant, sort of, kind of. We talk about a couple of upsets that upset me particularly. And then we talk about Solo Leveling Season 2, which just started. A new anime called Zenshu. I give my review of the 3-Body Problem, and Grant gives his review of the Bob Dylan, A Complete Unknown biopic with Timothy Chalamet Ding Dong. And then we talk very briefly about some DC Batman-related stuff at the end. And we had a lot of fun doing it. This pod was supposed to be like 12 minutes and went for an hour because we've got chemistry. What do you know about chemistry, kid? I don't know. All right, Grant, hit him. Oh, hey there, Grant.
Hello, Dip.
How you doing there, fella?
Good. The holidays are behind us, and I could not be more ecstatic about that.
I know. This is wild for us. Like, this may be transparent to the listener, but we're recording kind of back-to-back. Not back-to-back, but like a week apart. Normally we have a longer break, but we did the whole top 5 of 2024 thing.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Had a blast.
That was a great pod. It's up everywhere, and there's plenty of clips that are still circulating, and they seem to be doing well. So people are watching it and listening to it, which is great.
Thank you, everyone.
So we hope all of you enjoy that. And back to business. I will note, no video this week. We had a quick turnaround.
Boys.
Yeah, we had a quick turnaround. All right, we had no time to rest. We're getting this one in. Be thankful, because I said this to Grant. I said, that the alternative is we just wait like 2.5 weeks to record again.
Yeah,
right. And he
That's
wasn't
too
having
long. It's just too long, And I like consistency. I like our weeks, and
so we're here.
Yeah.
We're here in mind and in body, but not in video, and you're gonna have to live with that.
Yeah.
But we'll be back. You'll be seeing our beautiful visages shortly in a couple weeks on the next episode of the post show. So anyway, thanks for listening to the top 5. I don't know if we're gonna have like a ton today, but there's a lot of like odds and ends we didn't cover.
Yeah, it was funny. We had like a post, literally like a post show conversation of like, oh, like look at all this stuff we missed. but again, like 2024 was, I don't even know if we talked about it on the pod, but like it was such a massive year for everything. Like there was so much good anime, so much good TV and movies, stuff that we like both had seen and not, and it was a really good compare and kind of explain to each other. So, but there's, like I said, there's just so much we missed.
Yeah, I think the big thing, like the absolute oversight that I made, you said you were happy with your picks.
Yeah.
But I sincerely just like forgot about the Penguin when I was making my top live action.
It was just too close, I think, probably. Like it was,
Yes, it's so
the
weird.
The problem is when you're going over your notes for the whole year, you're looking back on the stuff that's the farthest away and like evaluating everything and reevaluating things, and the stuff that like you had just seen kind of you're too close to it, I guess.
Yeah.
Sometimes, at least just when in preparation for something. But
yeah, it's weird. But I will say, just for the record, it would have been really tight. My pick for live action like show was Ripley. With Andrew Scott, and I don't know, it might have still took my number 1 spot. It's an incredibly different show than the Penguin, though ironically they were competing pretty directly with one another, and will probably continue to do that throughout award season. Did you watch any of the Golden Globes, by the way? Speaking of which,
no, I didn't actually. I've never been a huge like Globes fan personally, but I know this is. I'm not saying that it's better this year, from what I'm understanding. I think it's just different, than their usual kind of shtick. So
I think the big thing is they got new owners about 3 years ago.
Yeah, it's no longer the Associated Press.
Yeah.
But
and they seem to be trying new things. I mean, among them is like that, like they did that new like cinematic box office achievement award,
yeah,
which is basically like the not critically acclaimed but commercially acclaimed award, which would have been like actually perfect for the MCU like era.
Yeah,
but
10 years ago that would have.
Yeah, it's funny, we're kind of past that now. But Wicked won for that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that Wicked's pretty critically acclaimed too, right? Like there's Oscar buzz about that, I think.
Yeah, I think critically, people like it. There's like anything else, I think there's a bit of a very loud vocal minority online, just kind of saying like, oh, these aren't real movies or whatever. Like it feels like it's kind of caught up in that conversation, which. I've seen it. I really, I saw it with Corinne. I really enjoyed it for what it was.
I've yet to see it. You've just seen it the one time?
Yeah. Just one and done. And like it was. I know you've seen the musical and all that, and like I do enjoy musicals.
Oh yeah.
It was so. I don't know. It was just It was nice because we didn't have like definitely no sing along audience. There's only like 6 of us in the theater.
Oh right. But that's a thing elsewhere, right?
It is. Yeah, it is a big thing. But like the 4 other people that were in the theater with us we're just so excited to see Wicked, and like you can tell they were such big fans of like whether like the IP, like I don't know like where like they landed, but like they were so into it. And like it wasn't like distracting. It was like it kind of just like made it like that much more nice to see people so enjoying something in the moment. So like
that's cool.
It definitely was like a highlight for like the theaters for me this year, like in its own way. Like it was an okay movie and fine. Ariana Grande completely steals like the movie. Like she's incredible in it. But yeah, no. It was,
and from an acting perspective, she does well too.
Oh yeah, she dials in. Like she
good for her.
Like she like she is the character. Like it's I know it's like that's such like an obvious thing to say, but like she really
sorry.
Cat's going wild.
Oh yeah.
No, I don't know. It just like she's funny, and you can kind of see like you see the growth in her character, and you can see her remorse in various parts of the movie as she's like growing and all that. Like it felt very fully fleshed, and I feel like I really know that character.
Yeah.
By the end of it, and even like to see what's I'm curious to see what comes more for her in the next one. And Cynthia Erivo too was also really good as in her role. But I thought Ariana Grande was just like she's like a shining star like every time she was on screen.
It's always interesting to see it like how they perform when like a vocal artist like that gets into like they get on screen, and how if they're able to hold their own or not. Like the other one that comes to mind is obviously Lady Gaga and Star Bradley Cooper. Star
is Born. Have you seen that?
No,
that's a good movie.
But she was nominated for an Oscar for it.
I didn't know that.
And then she went 1 for 1 and got greedy and did Joker 2.
No, she was in.
Let that be a lesson.
No, she was in the Gucci movie, the Ridley Scott Gucci movie.
Was she really?
Yeah, the House of Gucci. Yeah.
She's just like a straight up working actor now at this point.
I think so. Yeah.
Interesting.
I saw that actually.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I've got so I actually watch the Globes. I don't often. But there's a reason, and part of it was like I was really impressed by the fact that they hired Nikki Glaser as a host.
Yeah.
I'm not like this #1 Nikki Glaser fan.
Sure.
But I very much consider her like a quote real comic. Like I
agree. Yeah.
Yeah, I've definitely been known to be on like the high horse of like last year's a great example. They hired Joe Coy and he bombed.
Yeah.
And everyone's like, oh, but wasn't he some huge comic? It's like, no, he's not a huge comic. He's like this. A good example is he's like the Matt Rife of his lane, which is like
okay.
No, hear me out. Which is that my go-to like an example or anecdote here is that like Matt Rife fans are fans of Matt Rife. They're not necessarily fans of comedy, and like I think that Joe Coy fans are the same.
Oh, okay. I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, and that's actually no, I stand by it. But Nikki Glaser is like very much like a comic. She's made like a good name for herself off the roast. Obviously, the really big one she had was the Tom Brady roast, and she annihilated.
She's always been so good. I remember, like years and years and years ago, Chris Hardwick used to have that At Midnight show on the comedy.
Yeah.
And she was she came back a lot. Ron Funches came back a lot. And like she would just destroy. Like she's so good on it. Like I was like, oh my god, like she's like hilarious.
She would be good in an environment like that.
Yeah.
But we kind of skimmed through it. I think all in all, like there's a lot still that I haven't seen. Sam was telling me, like, I was telling you, I think I might have even said it on the podcast, either this last episode or the one before that like, we're gonna try and go back and forth on movie picks more often.
Sure, yeah.
But we have come to a stalemate and a compromise for the time being. We agreed. We agreed. Hey, for now, let's try and watch a lot of these Oscars flicks that we haven't seen.
Once the list comes out, then it's like down to business. It's like, all right, Leanna, we have this many weeks. Yeah. We got to get 2 in this weekend, 1 in this weekend.
Now, granted, we have not yet seen, or one, granted, the Oscar movies aren't even out yet.
No.
But you can
imminently, though.
Yeah, you can also likely infer, right? Like, just based off the Globes, like, it's probably fair to say movies like Conclave, The Brutalist, I don't know, Emilia Perez, perhaps Wicked, I don't know, The Substance maybe.
Substance definitely moved up for sure.
Yeah, so I imagine a lot of those will be on the short list, or probably are on the short list. But so all that said, we're going to try and get through a few of those.
Nice.
I'm trying to think. You know what I want to put at the front of the line, though?
What?
Big ups to Demi Moore. She won for Best Actress for The Substance.
First award ever, like acting award ever.
In a 45-year career.
Yeah, that's awesome. She's so good in it, Dave. Like, it's...
Yeah, I was saying to Sam, I was like, I'm pretty sure Grant's seen this movie like 3 times. Or something.
I have seen.
Am I right?
Yeah. Like very, and I think we had talked about it actually on last episode in the top 5. And I had said it then, like, it's very much like a put everything on the line performance. Like, it's full on body horror. Like, there's no corners cut for her. Like, she really, really dives into that character, and it's
Would you say it's a gory movie?
Very gory, Dave.
Oh, really?
Oh, it's exceptionally gory.
I'm just thinking of Sam, and I know she's just like not.
I can
tolerance is lower than mine.
I can with confidence say that's not a Sam movie.
Really?
It's hardly a Dave movie, I think.
Oh my god. Okay. Yeah. I told her that maybe that's one we watch, in the afternoon with all the lights on. Maybe that'll help. I don't know.
It's not scary.
No, I'm getting the vibe. It's not scary.
But it's
straight up frightening. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree. It's so funny because when you were in Nosferatu, I think you had leaned over at one, or I can't remember if it was like right at the end of the movie, but you had said something of it wasn't scary, but do you say disheartening, or you said something along, or not disheartening? I can't remember what you said. Haunting. You're like, that was haunting. I was like,
it was a haunting film. I think we might have talked about it, the top 5 thing. But was that my movie of the year or something? I don't know. But
I think it was in your 3.
It was in my top 3. That I thought about Nosferatu for probably 10 straight days after we saw it. I watched every interview. I watched as much Robert Eggers coverage as I could find just to try and learn about the guy. I've got all his movies queued up, or the Northman's, like after the Oscar movie, Northman's number 1. Nice. Even though I'm interested how different it is from other stuff he's done, just based off what I've read. But anyway, like I said to you, that was the kind of movie that made me want to go through his whole filmography, which is always like, there's no higher endorsement than that, right?
No.
You see one movie, you're like, oh my god, I need to see everything this person has done.
Yeah.
As far as the Globes go, maybe we can just put a bow on this. A couple of a couple of upsets. I don't know if you're aware of any of the major winners. Shogun did well, like same as they did.
I did know that. I did know Shogun did really well.
They had one upset for Shogun. It was best performance by an actor in a supporting role in a TV series.
And that was what's the actor's name? Sonata? Yeah, the guy from the First Village there, who was like kind of betraying back and he was always
back
like,
and forth. The audience is wondering, where the hell is this guy going to end up?
Yeah.
And but he beat out here's the category for you. He beat out Javier Bardem in Monsters, Harrison Ford in Shrinking, Jack Lowden in Slow Horses, Diego Luna in La Maquina, and Ivan Mas Bacharach in The Bear. Wow. And his speech, for the record, went, somewhat viral. He is very endearing. Like, I think his first words are, "Okay, you may not know me."
I saw something on Reddit, not for like under the winners, but like a week or two ago. It was like a clip of Shogun, and people were talking about, just like, oh my god, like, just how the thread like went, how like, oh, he's so amazing, and someone had said like he's like the equivalent of Johnny Depp in Japan.
Oh,
like
really?
this was like
He's big?
like, well, he's like big, but like he's very like kind of he plays like that big outgoing parts, like clearly like you see it in Shogun, right? Like you can see, like when I read that I was like, oh, I could see a Johnny Depp type performance like in that exact role in like a different kind of or something else or whatever, but and then I saw it again pop up again, people saying like he's the Johnny Depp of Japan. I'm like, oh, that's so funny.
Him, man.
But it's pretty cool. I think it's just eccentric.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'm irritated to even bring this one up. Best performance at a stand-up comedy series. This entire category was an absolute joke. I will note the one like actual comic won for the category. It was Ali Wong for Single Lady. But dude, like listen to her her co-nominees. Jamie Foxx, Seth Meyers, Adam Sandler, Rami Youssef, and Nikki Glaser. And
that was for stand-up specials?
Stand-up comedy on television. So I don't understand. Maybe the on television part, like, does that mean it excludes streaming and like you can't take a Netflix special? Though I'm pretty sure that's where Nikki's was. I don't know. But like it is shocking how bad that category is in general. Do you want to hear the one I'm really mad about?
Is it Jeremy Allen White winning again?
No, but so I haven't even watched The Bear season 3, but I know that the internet's quite angry about that. Because like I heard it from you, I heard it from everyone. Season 3 is a bit of a departure. Is that fair?
I watched the first episode and I was just like, this feels so up its own ass. Already more than the show is done already. Which again, I liked. I like some up its own ass or TV shows there.
Yeah.
And movies. Like Leanne and I were just like, no, we got so much other stuff we would rather watch, and we just have not. We're never. I don't think we're gonna go back.
He was in good company too. He had a good category and he won. I don't know about any of the other performances, but I really, really enjoyed that Nobody Wants This rom-com I told you about.
Yeah,
Adam Brody was up for that, lost to Alan White, but I can't really speak to the rest of the performances. But yeah, kind of weird that they won. I was like completely thrilled that Colin Farrell won for The Penguin.
Yeah. Yeah, well, so earned.
So yeah, but stacked category. Richard Gadd, Kevin Kline, Cooper Koch, Ewan McGregor, Andrew Scott.
Andrew Scott for Ripley, I'm assuming.
Yeah. Okay, the one that just about ruined the night. Jodie Foster wins for True Detective, Night Country, for best performance by an actress in a limited series.
I did get the late night text for that one.
It's not just that she won, it's that, extremely stacked category.
Yeah.
But also, I think, I'll read the names, and it's Kate Blanchett, Kristen Milioti, Sofia Vergara, Naomi Watts, and Kate Winslet. Like, huge names. Ironically, a lot of movie stars that wound up doing TV. But I think it's that I saw that Kristen Milioti performance in The Penguin.
She was incredible.
And Colin Farrell won. And I watched both of these performances. Like, these are the only two things I watched. And Grant, it's like they're made for two different mediums. Like sincerely. And I'm not like just trying to dunk on True Detective. It's just like, I can't believe the product that The Penguin put out and how strong it was, and especially her performance. She has a solo episode in that series, as you well know, and like I don't know, 20 minutes of her work is better than the work that Jodie Foster did in the entirety of that series. And it's nothing against Jodie Foster, it's the material, right? Like, the part is worse, the show is worse, everything about it is worse. I don't understand. I just can't wrap my mind around that choice. That's just like, I just don't get it. It's just wild. Anyway, that one pissed me off.
How many episodes was True Detective? 6 or 8? Do you remember?
6, but let me just check.
So I'm so curious now, because again, like similar, like I heard from my brother, you've a couple times have brought it up, and just not what everyone was expecting. At least the people I know that watched it was not what they expected. But
yeah, like I think there's a lot of issues with it, and we could probably do like a whole podcast on it. But like, no, but I think like, the main thing is that like this just isn't really in keeping like they just took the IP. That's all they really did. Like they kind of just took it's actually a decent show, man. Like this is the problem, is that if they just made this something else, it would have been better. Like just drop the True Detective from the front, call it Night Country, and call it a new exciting mystery whodunit show with supernatural elements. And like it'll do fine.
But Dave, the IP.
No, but
the
I know.
IP. Yeah, no.
That's the thing, right? So there had to be all these forced connections back to the most popular season of the show, which the showrunner and writer had no part in. So like they had to, it was just it was very forced, and also like they definitely used, and I hate to say this, but it's very Lost-esque. I mean, Lost is like giant for this, but there is a lot of it that boils down to, that's just like if you have like 10 unanswered questions, a lot of them are just like, that's just Night Country, weird shit happens in the dark. There's a lot of that bullshit, and it's like a complete kind of betrayal of like what True Detective was supposed to be. I don't know. Good show, I hated it. You know what I mean? It's it's the fact that they did it that way. That's why I was mad, I think. And I don't know. I just think it's fucking stupid. But it's about the IP, right? Like this is what it comes down to. This is like a known issue currently in the industry. Studios want franchise. They want IP. Mm-hmm. And I think they're doing more. So whatever. But you know what happened immediately after that picked me right back up?
What's that?
Sebastian Stan won for A Different Man.
Yeah, A Different Man. Okay, I wasn't sure what he had won for, because I know
wasn't sure if it was
The Apprentice. Yeah, I wasn't sure if it was for The Apprentice or if it was for A Different Man, which I really want to see, actually.
Yeah, that one. I don't know how it qualifies for musical or comedy. It looks like a tough watch, to be honest.
Well, when he was on Marin a couple of weeks ago, and he had said
such a good pod.
Yeah, like. Just like every now and then, like he just has incredible chemistry with somebody, and like it's like I'm glad Sebastian Stan was one of those interviews. Agreed. But no, there was a point where he had alluded that like it is. I think Mark had said he had seen her, he had watched some stuff over it. It seemed pretty dark, and Sebastian had like kind of like hit home the point of like, but like it's like it is more than like what it. Again, like a typical movie about body, like body horror and looking different, like, not looking on the outside or whatever, like you mentioned earlier, book and cover and all that. But, I don't know. It's my kind of movie, my kind of jam. I love Sebastian Stan. He, like, and you've talked about this before too. Like, he most certainly has had the most interesting, like, post MCU. Like, he's still kind of in it there or whatever, but, out of it, like any of like the main kind of core, like tier 1, tier 2 actors of the MCU, like he's definitely had the most interesting stuff come out. Yeah,
definitely. Like I think that like, I mean, he's also been quite public about the fact like if he's not Bucky Barnes, he probably doesn't get this supporting role in I, Tonya, and without I, Tonya, he doesn't get the next indie movie, and then he doesn't get that movie Fresh. You know what I mean? Like. And he's to your point, I think he just picks his projects like really, really well. And I was just so bitter for so long that they gave Anthony Mackie the Shield, which was just so clearly like a decision made in a boardroom.
Sure.
And nothing to do with like storytelling. But man, maybe if he was busy filming Cap 4, he probably doesn't get a year with double nominations.
Maybe.
So who knows? And then Anthony Mackie was there and was very happy for Sebastian. So
there you go.
I'll take it. And then Adrian Brody for The Brutalist, which also won Best Motion Picture.
Cool. That's another one I'm looking forward to.
Shogun for Best Drama. Hacks for Best Comedy or Musical Television Series.
You're not up on that?
I haven't seen. Dude. Okay, so have you seen this?
No, I know. Like, I know the premise, and it just kind of sounds like a Dave show.
Dude, every time I look at it, it looks like a show for old women, and I'm not being like I'm not trying to like ruffle any feathers, but like I'm serious. I watched the trailer and I see scenes, and my thought, like sincerely, is my mother would love this. But like I don't know. Like maybe I should watch it because it wins seemingly every year.
Yeah.
So you don't know either.
No, I have no. All I know is about it's about stand-up comics.
And, but they're two old ladies. Maybe I'm judging the book by its cover here. I probably am.
Yeah.
All right.
There was another one years ago. I think I told you to check out. Is it still standing or standing up? Or no, I'm Dying Up Here. That's what it was. And it had Cheeto Santino was in it, and
Oh yeah. I love Santino.
yeah, like there's a lot of other people, like actual comics in it, and Jim Carrey produced it, and it was pretty good. The first season, I watched the first season. I really liked it.
Yeah, starring Gene Smart, Caitlin Olsen. I don't know. Maybe I'll give it the old pilot treatment.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. So, I distracted us for the first 20 minutes here with Golden Globe shit.
That's all right.
But it's topical.
Yeah.
I mean, the only really breaking anime thing I have is Solo Leveling.
Yeah, dude. Do you want to get into it?
Yeah, dude. So season 2, episode 1, but they're doing that thing where it's they're just calling it season 1, episode 13.
Yeah, I don't love that. Well,
I think it's because of the trend of releasing shows in batches of 12. They're like, oh, this would normally be one season of 24, but we do this thing where we take an 8-month break.
And do you know what else I've noticed too? And Solo Leveling isn't the only show doing it, but the branding of a season and having it a tagline as in the title of the season.
Oh, like the arc.
Yeah, but
True Detective Night Country.
Well, yeah, there's that. So that's a good example. But in anime specifically, you have stuff that's marketing itself as Rezark or Chainsaw Man. But here, what is it called for? It's Solo Leveling. It made me laugh.
Solo Leveling have that? I didn't know.
Yeah, it has one. Where is it here?
My guy looking like such a Chad, just getting so jacked.
So Solo Leveling Season 2, Arise from the Shadow.
Oh, yeah.
And it's all in the title, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing it or whatever, but that is starting to become a common thing in anime. The seasons are marketing themselves. The season has its slogan or whatever, and it's all kind of embedded in one. It made me laugh when the episode started. I was like, go get them.
I don't know if we need it.
No, it's such a frill. It doesn't, it's not anything. It was just a funny little detail. It made me laugh. But what an opener, dude! I'm this is exactly what I wanted. When just exactly more of what we got last season.
I feel like Solo Leveling is a show that makes me struggle with my own existence because I get so amped up on the simplest shit. You know what I mean? I think I struggle with. We talked about this in the top 5 review. I'm look at my top 5 is basically just shonen.
Sure.
And it's I want to believe I'm the guy that just rewatches Neon Genesis and Sunny Boy, and I'm just so damn deep. But in reality, I just want to see guys score goals in soccer, and I want what is it? What's his name? Sin Woo? What is it?
Sung Jin Woo.
Sun Jin Woo. I want to see him just eviscerate people. Yeah. And just cut them in half. And the show is so good at giving you what you want.
The shot of when he catches the arrow, the ice arrow, and it's you were joking earlier, but it was the ultimate Giga Chad, you can swoon over me, ladies, the girls leaning into him and all that. It was this show knows the writer, the manhwa, and it's so it knows its brand so perfectly, and it's just so demonstrated in this adaptation.
It's so true. It's so true. It just gives you what you want. It's very main character energy. It's it's very every show does a version of the of the glow up, right?
Yeah.
And then there's there's different levels of that where it's it doesn't always go according to plan and whatnot. Sure. But sometimes you just need an overpowered, not to comedy levels. One Punch Man status, for example, but you need a guy who's just yes, I'm the main character. It'll be difficult, but I'm gonna win. You know what I mean? And it's that's what I'm here for. The world building is great. I think another thing is one thing you can't forget is that the animation has not dipped. It is sometimes sometimes better, right? They have some episodes that, let's say the baseline is a 7 or an 8. They have had a 9 at times, but it never goes below 7 or 8.
No, it was very consistent.
They've never had a bad looking episode, and I think that helps a lot.
I agree. It was the there's so many fun little things to love about this show. There's the I was thinking as I was going into the season 2 premiere, I was maybe I should watch a quick recap, and I was no, I bet you literally I know exactly everything that happened. in season 1, I'll be fine. Like I'm gonna know who everyone is.
Yep.
And I was surprised. I had forgotten about there was this whole like the A rank or the S rank hunter or whatever the guy is coming to like kill Sung Jin Woo because he had Sung Jin Woo had killed his brother.
Yep.
And I was like, oh shit, okay, I did miss that. So, and then like just like there's like talks of like, like they meet him at the airport and he's just like total dick bad guy energy and he's like, fuck you guys.
He's a Chad. He's got Chad energy.
Oh my god, he's like
the sunglasses, the polo.
I've never watched the show, but like he reminds me of like that show Baki.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like just like roided out, like super. Like
do you know if that's any good? Netflix pushes it like hard.
Apparently, like it has a very big fandom. I don't know if it's necessarily what I'm looking for. Maybe one day I'll jump down in the rabbit hole, but and then like him showing up and like people are yelling like, "Oh, this is like not your territory," and I'm like, "This show is awesome." Like it's so it's like I wouldn't call it cheesy, but it's like perfectly popcorn. You know what I mean? Like it feels like there's just enough action in every episode.
Dude, that's a really good way to say it. Like, it's like it's popcorn city.
Yeah,
it's funny because it's almost in the same. You know what? Okay, no, I'm probably wrong. It's like an amped up version of Shangri-La Frontier with more Chad energy.
A full Chad, yeah,
full Chad,
full Chad.
And it's like Saturday morning cartoons, so like similar-ish to what you might use like a Dragon Ball or like a My Hero for. But it's like so elevated and so much more hype because just like heads are gonna roll in that episode. Like I don't know. I can't say with 100% certainty, but I feel like the vast majority of season 1 there was violence of some kind in every episode.
I think so. Yeah, I think that's fair to say.
I don't know. So it's not a human decapitation in the premiere, but you know what I mean. Like there's just like there's violence at all times. I love it. This is like a absolute masterclass in like how you kick off a season though, because they did a little bit of like what's going on, who's our character, oh right, like refresh your memory, but they do that for like 6 minutes and then the Red Gate thing happens and it's by the way, here's the start of the new arc.
And like in the I found that is so interesting. I never expected, the whole plot in season 1 or like, like the D plot of the sister's friend going and getting, she awakened, she found her power ranking. And it's like, oh, I'm sure this is going to come with someone. And they just did like hey, like, we're looping it back. This is now like probably one of the bigger parts of like the season or season 2. And it all felt like for a show that you would think would do these things super clunky and just like, fuck it. Like it happens when it happens. It all feels very like well put together and organized. And like, I don't know. It was just, it was way more, defined than I thought it was going to be for coming back. It's just, I don't know. It's good. I love it. Like I'm happy to see it, but,
I don't know if there's much more to say. It's probably fair to say we will be in this like Red Gate / snowy environment for a little while.
I think I would say one more.
Oh, you think? Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
I think
they got so much done in the first episode. You're right.
Yeah. I remember thinking like, and maybe just like where we've been at like for the past few years with like Demon Slayer and My Hero. I remember that snake fight early in season 1 of Solo Leveling. Thinking like, oh, this is going to go on for like 3-4. And it was like, boom, I'm going to drop his ass next
They get so
episode.
much done, you're right.
Yeah.
And we have this major buff. We got to see the whole Shadow necromancy.
Icarus.
So badass.
And him, like, him sitting back and, like, being, like the meta-ness of it, of, like, him watching, like, oh, like, I'm burning so much man. Like, him, like, figuring out his abilities and, like, I should have did Icarus right off the bat. And then, like...
Everybody knows how that works. Everybody knows how that works.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, I really
well, not everybody.
Really
the viewers of this specific show, like, they don't miss a beat. They totally get it.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah, and Icarus. I am... it's funny having a silent character that you like, you know what I mean, that has no dialogue... and you like just off the basis of like they had a cool fight. It makes me wonder, like, will Icarus fight this other hunter that wants to kill Sung Jin Woo? Will we be sad if and when Icarus is killed? I don't know.
But I'm wondering, does he just respawn? Like, how does that? And we don't know. But my curiosity is Sung Jin Woo gonna be like? How where's the split going to be between him summoning stuff and him fighting at the same time? Like, are we going to get both at the same time, or is it going to be like one or the other? it's yeah, I'm just
Yeah, that's the
I'm
question
so
he had
excited.
at the end of season 1, right? Because like necromancy isn't necessarily like Caster isn't. He literally calls it, "This isn't really compatible with my build."
Yeah. Yep.
He's he's a close combat kind of class. So it's I don't know. We'll figure it out. It'll be some weird hybrid. I don't know. Any other anime that you want to cover other than that?
There's only other one. I checked out that Zenshu show, which I like the second the episode ended. I was like, "Where's my phone? I gotta text Dave."
I got a few minutes in. I ran out of time. Before we had to do. But it looks interesting. I don't know if it's totally my thing, but what did you like about it?
Well, again, just I think the audacity of Mappa to make an anime.
Oh, is it made by Mappa?
Yeah, it is.
Oh yeah, that's pretty funny.
So, but like again, like I thought it was going to be like a working themselves to death. Like so, like it's not not a spoiler to say like it's all in the marketing. Like the main character is this up and comer.
They cover it in the first 2 minutes.
Yeah, and that was my surprise too. I was like, oh wow, they're just going to completely like I thought this was going to be like a season's worth, like half a season's worth of like seeing her like getting to the point where she does die from exhaustion or whatever, and like she gets killed off by like bad clams, which I thought was so funny.
Yeah.
And then it was cool. It's not quite an isekai story, because like I'm not sure. Like I don't think she's in another world, and this is what made me think. I think you might like it is because there's a couple shots of her like she's in like a movie theater watching what's happening. So it almost like I'm almost wondering if it's like a situation where like she's on the brink of death, and this is all kind of like her on her deathbed thinking this out.
She's having the whole what's that Christmas
life
story?
Oh, Christmas Carol. Like,
she's having her Christmas Carol moment.
It kind of seems like that, but like there's just I don't want to get too into it. I think everyone should watch it. This is definitely going to be one of the big ones of the year. There's no doubt in my mind, unless it completely falls off. But this is a very strong pilot, and there's just literally like a 3-minute Sakuga, like just blow your pants off animation scene at the tail end of the episode.
Really? Okay.
Oh, Dave, I
told you I got about halfway through.
No, I know. Yeah, no. In the very tail end of the episode, it kind of like literally like it happens, and then there's like cue like credits more or less. Like we'll see you next week kind of thing. Yeah. So just a story like this character. I don't know yet. I've only watched one episode, but she dies. She goes into this show that's like kind of like. It's implied that like it's not well loved, and it was like it ended early because it wasn't good enough, didn't do well, and she goes into this world. It's funny because like the characters like all kind of like look different. It's almost like they're different like from different series, like each one. There's no like
different animation style kind of thing.
Not like full animation styles, but like different color palettes and like kind of character designs like don't fit into the same world. Like there's like this little unicorn that looks like straight out of like not My Little Pony, but like something like a kid show adjacent.
Right.
And no one like believes her. They all think she's a goblin. No one believes that she's like a human because she's like kind of like her hair's always covering her face. But there's just like this set piece battle at the end, and she kind of like rises to the occasion. By the end of the episode, like some of the rules of the world are kind of coming through. And it's just like I said, Dave, it's literally an explosion of like color and animation. And, I put that in quotations and you'll know what I mean by the end. But just really, really, really cool pilot. I highly encourage everyone to check it out. Like even just to see what they pulled off in that one episode, like even if it's not your thing, it was very much like a showpiece, like cap off to the episode. It was really, really cool.
Okay. Well, I guess I should finish it.
Yeah. I think you should.
Okay, sounds like a strong one of our first. Well, no, that's 2. We've got Solo Leveling and Zenshu, as the beginning to the winter season that is sure to be very busy. Do you know off the top of your head? Oh no, I think it's February for White Lotus season 3.
I believe is it February or March?
Oh, okay. But either of those is late enough. We are at season 2, episode 4.
Okay, so you're halfway through.
Yeah, there's 7, so a little more than half. 3 left, and dude, I can't believe how good this show is.
It's so good.
This is, I hate to say it, I hate to say the hot button word. This is peak drama. It really is.
I agree.
Like this is like what really high level drama, original storytelling looks like in like 2024/5. Like it's not IP. As far as I'm aware, somebody feel free to correct me, including you. Like unless this is based off a bunch of books or something that I'm not aware of.
It's original. Mike White wrote it.
Yeah.
He
School
wrote
of Rock guy.
School of Rock. Yeah,
It's so random.
Ned Schneebly.
And what's also wild, and I don't know how it ends yet, but at least up to this point, the like level of quality has not dipped from season 1. And like this is like the famous like True Detective story is like, you know, you work on season 1 for like 10 years and then you are rushed to do season 2 and it's impossible to meet the same level of quality. But like I don't know how he kept the quality up for the second season, because he turned it around in what, a year and a half?
I think it was pretty
quick,
pretty short to turn around. I don't know. I like that the show feels like from season 1 to season 2. Like it feels like the same show, but just the character of the location itself like does so much of the heavy lifting to make it feel so unique, right? Like I know like that can be like crutch for some shows. Like, oh yeah, like it doesn't matter, like I don't know, like I can't think of anything in particular, but like, like you sometimes you just watch it like, oh, like the backgrounds are pretty, like it doesn't really matter like what's happening, what everyone's saying or whatever, but like everything is dialed in. Like they do like
it is
just the high quality of like the resorts and the places
gorgeous.
and the rooms. Like
it's beautiful because he directs it too, right?
I'm not sure actually. I'm not off the top of my head.
Director. I don't know. I'm pretty sure he directs at least some of them, but like
I know he writes it by himself. I know that much.
It is gorgeous to look at, and you do make a good point about like the location, like the actual White Lotus location, or at least the franchise of the hotels.
Yeah.
Does help them, right? It is a vehicle for storytelling because you can conveniently be like, other shows or stories need to find a reason to be like, hey, I'm pulling in 10 characters from random places and I'm dropping them off. Chaos ensues. You need like a reason, right, to get to your like, your glass onion type story. But like, yeah, it's just so simple. It's like, yeah, it's a resort. Like, boom, like done. Now you can write the story part. And everybody, I think the other thing is like, I don't know if they just have the best casting ever or what, but everybody on the show is amazing. Everybody, like everybody's amazing.
The one of my favorites from season 2 is Michael Imperioli, just like playing the ultimate like clearly like a loser husband and dad, but like he's
sex addicted father. Yeah,
you can see on like a base level like he is trying, but you can just see like how confused he is to like actually follow through.
It's like it's funny and it's really so sad.
Yeah, it is
so sad to watch.
It's probably one of the more like, and I don't think this is an exaggeration to say, but like it reminds me so much of The Wire in that like these feel like real people.
Yes, I agree with that.
Like like you could easily say like this is like them like cartoon versions of these types of people. It doesn't feel like that. It feels like these people. Like
the girls, the foursome couple there, the two boys and two girls, Aubrey Plaza.
Yep.
Like I've met the character she's playing. You know what I mean? I like it. You're right. Like the characters are so based in reality. Mm-hmm. Everything just feels like reasonably like, yeah, I can absolutely see this going, like these types of things happening. You know who I love, like just from a performance perspective, because he's such a piece of shit, is the character Cameron. I think he's played by Theo James. He's the
really tall
friend.
The really tall British guy.
Yeah, the tall, good-looking guy. He does not have a British accent in the show. I think, does he have a British accent in real life?
Oh yeah. Oh sorry. I watched him. I watched The Gentleman this year, and he was in it. He's like very posh, very posh. Like, well, he's
British in real life.
Yeah, I think so.
Wow, that's even more impressive. His vocal performance, like he.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, he isn't British, and
no, and he's like like his performance is very, very strong. But again, everybody's is very, very strong. He's such an asshole.
I know. They all are. By the end, like everyone is just like you want to get off the island as much as like some of the characters in the show. You're like, I am so sick of these people.
This is the thing, dude. I'm we're on episode 4, and we are nearing the point. Again, they're just threading the needle. Where I'm like, everyone is becoming so wound up, and the tension is being built so effectively.
Yeah.
Just like in season 1, you're like, I could see any of these people killing one another.
Yeah.
Like I truly could. I could see something going wrong in any one of these many relationships, and they haven't even all begun to like mix yet. Like
No.
the son, the innocent baby boy, played by Adam DeMarco. He's Michael Imperioli's son.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just he just met the Lucia. He just met the prostitute and brought her home. And I'm assuming has no idea that she's a prostitute that was also with his father a couple nights before, and was also with Theo James's character before that. But yeah, like the characters are starting to bump into one another now.
Oh my god, you got so much good stuff left too. Like you're not even like you're at the halfway point, and there's just like it's a really good. I'm super excited for season 3.
One other shout is a character who plays the character named Portia. She's played by Haley Lou Richardson. She's Jennifer Coolidge's assistant in the show.
Yes, she was great.
Based as hell, dude. Everybody is I just like this is like it truly is like the best drama I've seen in a long time, and the closest thing to it is season 1 of The White Lotus. You know what I mean? And before that, I don't know what else. Like it's just really, really, really good. I mean, you could say Wrigley and Penguin, but man, is that ever a different bag? Like it's funny how different that. Like it's not even comparable.
Well, maybe not quite comparable or like genre wise, but next pod, we'll be talking about Severance season 2.
Oh wow!
Next Friday, dude.
Yeah. I don't know if it's me or if it's you breaking up. Can you hear me all right?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we're good now. Man, wait, when does that come out?
Next Friday.
Next
17th.
Friday. So that'd be... Oh, my God.
So next Tuesday, we'll be talking about it.
Yeah, I think I was telling you Severance Season 1 has, like, really hit the, like, reactors circuit.
Yeah.
In preparation. In preparation of Season 2. And also, Apple did a smart move. They made all of Apple TV Plus this past weekend free.
Yes.
Their entire catalog was available for free to watch. So hopefully, this gives them a good boost because they could really use that help. Apple, the world's most valuable company.
I saw the Ben Stiller and Adam Scott podcast series started this week. I think.
So what are they doing? Are they just reviewing like the first episode?
I'm not sure.
The episodes from season 1.
I haven't checked it out yet, but I think it's like a primer probably for like what the plan is for the rest of the season.
I think they might be like watching or not watching. I think they might be like, watching episode 1 of Severance and then talking about it and giving you like BTS commentary.
Oh, I'm up for that.
That I could be inventing that, but I could have swore I saw something about that. Anyway, yeah, dude, Severance is probably like my most anticipated live action related.
Honestly, that and White Lotus, I think, are the only live action that I'm aware of that are coming.
Yeah.
Shogun season 2, but that probably won't come out this year.
Yeah, I mean, I have this sitting in front of me. I wasn't going to bring it up, but I'm just going to give you a quickie FYI because I had this sitting in my notes, and we just haven't had a chance to talk about it with the holidays and the scheduling.
Yeah.
But speaking of live action drama, though it's not really drama, we did wrap up the 3 Body Problem over the holidays.
Ooh, okay.
I think my takeaway is I'm like excited for season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I will watch it. I enjoyed it, but I feel like it was like a good, not great kind of show by the end.
I agree.
Yeah, I think I think that it can really be boiled down to like pacing. Like I don't know. It almost feels like they either ran out of money or time, or they just like. Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Because every time I think about what my complaints of the show are, it's like, they needed more time. They needed more time to explore like characters and set up plots and like make sense of some things. It's funny. Some of the issues I have with it are like very similar to the issues I had with the end of Game of Thrones. And it's the same guys, right?
Yeah.
But it is like a very captivating story. It's very interesting. It's like an exciting new take.
I just like good sci-fi on TV, Like we don't get a ton of it. So like whether it's like you said, like even if it's good, not great, it's just like nice to have good sci-fi on TV.
Yeah, I agree with that. Dude, did you ever watch The Watchmen, the show?
I watched the first couple episodes. I never like really got into it. I know you've said before that I should give it another go, but
I think I don't know if I told you. We got like a DM from a guy who was listening. It was like, "Has Grant ever seen The Watchmen?" And I was like, "No, he should though." Because I think they'd heard me talking about it, about how great it was. I'll just say this, Grant. It's more And this is as strong as the endorsements get from me. It's the ending. They stick the ending so goddamn well that it has one of those. You and I have to coin a term for live, not this minute, but think about it, for live action Sakuga, where like not necessarily like, because in Sakuga in anime it's like the animation is dialed, the music is dialed, the edit, right?
Yeah,
You can't make live action look better, but it's like it's one of those magical moments where the music is just right, the cuts are very specific, it's editing between a very hyper specific sequence of events that is happening. There's sometimes narration on top of it. It's the culmination, it's the climax, right? And they have one of the best endings I've seen, particularly in that genre, which is like, drama. I don't know if you'd call it sci-fi, but like drama superhero stuff.
yeah.
But I feel like The Watchmen's kind of sci-fi-ish with the Dr. Manhattan thing. I don't know.
Is he in the Dr. Manhattan in the live or the HBO one?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't really say much more than that. His character's involved.
Oh, okay. This? Okay, one last question about that. Is it like straight out of like a story based in the same time period as like the comic, or is it kind of like a new take on the whole thing?
Oh, that's a vital question, and
okay,
it's a vital question, and it is
unanswerable.
No. It is. I can say with confidence, it's a certain number of years after the events of the movie. I don't know how many.
Okay.
And there are like a couple things that they intentionally don't tell you. Like, you're not really meant to know like how many years have passed and what specifically happened. You're kind of like, it's sort of revealed to you slowly. You know what I mean?
The one thing
it's a show don't tell in that aspect.
Yeah,
but
the one thing I do remember, there was a really big set piece of like riots in the first episode. I remember that.
Yeah.
And then like that day was referenced like again like in the later in the first episode and the second as well. But,
I think one thing that actually, this is like one of those, it's almost kind of Game of Thrones-ish. One thing that actually really, really helped me is there was a moment where I was like, okay, enough. Like, I just have to Google a cast sheet because it's obviously all different actors playing the same parts that are shown in the movie, but also with like a time jump 10 years ahead, right? So you're like, so I'm supposed to know that this is that character 10 years later who's also played by a completely different fucking actor, and they're, just because they use the same name, I'm supposed to, you know what I mean, like have all this reference in my head. That's kind of difficult unless you're a huge Watchmen nerd.
Sure.
But I saw that movie twice, however many years ago. So like one thing I did, I was like, I just Googled who plays who, but like,
okay,
if you want, I'll do that without any spoilers included, because there might be reveals or something down the line.
You know what? I'm gonna put that.
Think about it
in my near future. Actually, I need something older.
Yeah,
I think that might be it.
That's all I got. Anything else you wanted to talk about?
Can I take like 5 minutes to talk about Timothée Chalamet?
Oh Christ! No, yeah, of course.
My brother and I took our father to go see Complete Unknown.
I love that those eyelashes he's wearing above his lip.
Who, my brother or Timothée Chalamet?
Not Timothée Chalamet. That was
he's got a better mustache than some whiskers.
Yeah, no. That was a roast from Nikki Glazer. She said that on the air at the Globes to him. She goes, I love your eyelashes above your upper lip.
That's so funny.
That's a good one.
I gotta say, the friggin' the Shamalama Ding Dong media machine the past couple of weeks has been pretty great. I love that he's so down for it. I love that he's just a bit of a goofball.
This kid's a bro.
He is a bro. He's on, he was on Nardwar there, so that was cool. He got the punk props there, but no, it was good. I enjoyed it. I think he is amazing. Like, he really put the work in. He sounds like Bob Dylan.
I've heard this. It's like pretty wild as far as biopic transformations go.
If like, not to like gripe on the movie, I thought the performances were amazing. I'm not sure the actor's name, but she played Joan Baez, who's like was like a prominent folk singer at the time. She had like anytime she was on screen singing, I was just like blown away. I was like, whoa, like
really?
That was really, really good. But so all in all, good movie. I feel like I think there's like a mystery to Bob Dylan, like even like in his history, like you know, very like kind of dodging questions and like didn't really let anyone in to a certain extent.
Yeah.
I didn't feel like by the end of the movie I was like like I don't really. I just felt like I was watching events in his life. I didn't really get to know him all that much.
Sure.
Which you know maybe you want some of that in a biopic, but all in all, really good movie. My dad was like beside himself, excited. He like growing up, like Bob Dylan was like the artist in our house. It was like him and John Prine.
Say, so this was a household growing up kind of artist for you?
Bob Dylan was just always on, whether my dad was playing his songs or like, you know, my dad put his music on like the stereo, like, you know,
Right.
it was always him or John Prine.
Okay.
And so like that was like a really nice experience, you know, for us to do that with him. And just, you know, he was just so happy. He was blown away. He also hadn't been in a theater. Like, I think the last movie I saw with him was Django Unchained, which was 12 years ago. And I remember the detail. We were like halfway into the movie. He's like, "This is way too bloody."
That's funny.
And I remember being like, "Yeah, I heard there's a set piece at the end that you're not gonna love then." But anyways, Dave, the thing I really want to talk about more than like Timothée Chalamet's like really good performance was like I'm not gonna like call people like I'm not gonna like generalize and like call people boomers because I think that's like, you know, like it's not it's just not like productive.
Sure.
But I think I can. What's the opposite of a Karen? Like a male Karen? Is it a Ken?
Sure. A chat. No, not a chat. Yeah, sure. Just
Just like a
we'll say Ken.
A boomer age, like probably even younger than my father. Just like absolute abhorrent asshole fucking behavior in the movie theater. Like I was just like blown away. Like it took me everything not to like say something to this guy, but like I knew nothing good would come of it because like he just would have doubled down on everything that he was like.
Of course.
Like, you know, it was like a total like, you know, higher road situation. But Devin and I were talking about it. Like we don't like this movie is like, you know, it's for everyone obviously, but it's clearly very targeted to a very specific audience of like nostalgia, right?
Yeah.
And like we were probably like the youngest people in the theater by like a huge margin. Like this is not the group of people we typically see movies
Right, that makes sense. Yeah.
ever. So I'm like very much in like unknown waters.
Yeah.
It was just like one of the most jarring theater experiences I've had in quite some time.
Because of this one specific guy?
This one guy was like so loud and his phone's going off and he's yelling at his kids and like had like a micro meltdown over the fact that like there's assigned seating.
Oh my god.
And like was just going like
that's the whole point. That takes so much of the movie theater problem.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he was like, you know, like it was too much. I still enjoyed the movie.
That blows.
But just like I'm not going to repeat some of the things that this guy said like on air, but like just
bad?
like he like like I'm definitely going to tell you off air. But like he had made a comment at one point because before you even hear Bob Dylan saying this, John Baez's character like does like a really beautiful, you know, I would call it a set piece. It's a very well, really cool scene of like her and performing in like this, I think the Gaslight Tavern in New York City. And she's singing House of the Rising Sun. And this guy's like having a meltdown saying things like, I came to see a Bob Dylan movie, not a fucking, you know, then going off because it's a woman. But like he's like his wife eventually told him like shut the fuck up shortly after that. But it was like the ultimate experience of like secondhand embarrassment and like how could you ever I was just like how can people behave like this, you know, like regardless of age, you know what I mean? I was just shocked and blown away, and
that's wild, man.
It's been on my mind since we saw it.
It's funny because right before we hit record we were talking or I don't think we were recording, but you and I were just talking about like just luck with flights and whatnot.
Yeah.
And like, you see like the public meltdown type videos of like I'm really fortunate. I don't fly that much, but I'm glad I haven't had like a, you know, just a dipshit on a plane. And I haven't had I've had a couple where I almost said something, but nothing anywhere near what you're talking about. I've never had anyone truly that level of like obnoxious. That's wild. That sucks.
I think the last time, not quite the closest, but like the other memorable one is when I saw Civil War in the theaters.
The Alex Garland one?
The Alex Garland movie. Yeah. And there was some very specific leaning people who were just like, this would be a dream. Like, I'd be able to do whatever I want. And it's like, like you clearly don't understand, like, the conflict of war and, like, what it does to people. Like, you guys are stupid. But, yeah, it was a lot.
Damn, dude.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, on the, on the plus side, you know, this really does complete the Chalamet experience of his insane run to the Oscar. And if he gets it...
Oh, he's taking it. I think he's taking it.
And if he gets it, he might be youngest ever or some bullshit.
Well, he very... it was so funny because he was in that Nardwuar interview and he was like, there's this whole portion where he shouts out Lil B, like Bass God the rapper, and like how he was blessed by him, and then like almost immediately was like, and shortly after I was like the youngest male actor ever nominated for an Oscar in Lady Bird. Or whatever it was, and I was like, well, okay, dude, you gotta cool the jets there a little bit. But I don't know, I do like him.
It would be hard. I mean, we've talked about this ad nauseum, but like, see all young people that got incredibly successful very young, and like then later had just all types of issues with their ego, and like I think it would be impossible to like remain any remotely level of humble when you go on the type of run that he's on. Not impossible, but just exceedingly difficult. He's dating a Kardashian. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
I just don't. Yeah, how can you relate to like, you know what I mean? To quote real people, I don't know. And I'm not shitting on the guy. He's
no.
He's had like some wild performances recently. So yeah, I mean, maybe I'll see it. I'm just not a big Bob Dylan guy, so it might be kind of lost on me.
It was honestly like if I had not had like the association to the man via my father, I would never, like, I don't think I would, like, if I took that, completely separated that from my feelings, and like reviewed the movie, it's like, it's a 3.5 star movie. Like, it's not a masterpiece or anything.
Right. It's all about like the biopic part.
Yeah, I want to hear the band sing some songs, and he did, and he showed up and he sang the songs like really, really good, and there was a good supporting cast, like kind of the people. Boyd Holbrook plays Johnny Cash.
Oh, that's cool.
And just like comes in like big swinging dick, like it was actually like I love his take on Johnny Cash.
That's pretty cool.
But actually, your boy, I don't know why I said that. Fight Club there. What's his name? Not Brad Pitt.
Norton?
Yeah, Edward Norton was really good in this.
Oh, I didn't know he was in there. Good for him.
Yeah, he played Pete Seeger, kind of like one of the guys that like made Bob Dylan.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, really, really, really cool. There's like, it's Dave. I would recommend it when it's out and it's on Netflix or wherever, and like you have like a Friday night and you just want like some like relaxed. It's a good movie. Like it's just a good movie.
I'll take her for a little spin.
Yeah, but. Yeah, that was a complete unknown.
Ah, good for him. Good for the old Shalamala Ding Dong there.
Get him.
I just want. I think the result of like the award season had me looking at a lot of movies. And I wound up like probably for the second or third time going down the like Dune 2 like clip rabbit hole and being like, fuck, that was a good movie. I got to rewatch that. And then being reminded of how it ended, being like, we need the third one, dude.
Yeah, we do need the third one.
And hopefully it comes faster than the Batman sequel. Anyway, that's all the time we got for today. And, no, I'm playing. But I do really hope we get Dune Messiah, like, soon.
I hope so, too.
Yeah. And I saw your boy Matt Reeves give a little interview here on the red carpet at the Globes. They're going to shoot this year.
Yeah, he was out there to friggin' put out some flames. Holy shit, the internet was losing it.
Hey man, it's taking a little bit of time here, okay? Let's get it. I think it doesn't die. Jokes aside, as many advantages as there are of having James Gunn, or like having a creative run the studio, one of the disadvantages is that James Gunn just goes on Twitter and does AMAs like every week and is like, nope, Matt Reeves don't have a script yet. Like, It's like, yo, can you shut up? Like, I'm working on it. Yeah. But yeah, he's very public about like the various stages of development that various projects are in. And you know what else is interesting? And this is probably nothing, but let me just get it on record here, Grant, just in case I'm right.
Okay.
Is he's said, Brave and the Bold, which was the Batman movie he greenlit, is on height. Like he says, script's not ready. I will not greenlight anything without a script. Like it's not ready. It needs more work. There's no casting. There's nothing happening with our Batman movie. And then in the same conversation, Josh Horowitz, he says, have you thought more about bringing Robert Pattinson into your DCU and the Matt Reeves universe and that whole thing? And he goes, of course. I think about everything all the time. Next question. And it was like, I wonder if that's the result of any of this friction between the two of them and what's going on. But it's probably nothing. Matt Reeves is doing his own thing.
Yeah.
He was also very public, by the way, very direct about we want to do season 2 of The Penguin.
That yeah.
So yeah, I'm very interested. Pattinson will be 41 by the time Batman 2 comes out.
Aging like a fine wine.
He is. Guess how old Christian Bale was in Dark Knight?
Oh, is it younger than I think or older than I think? Probably younger than I think.
Younger than I thought, at least. I'm not very good at this, though.
34.
He was exactly 34. Good job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Okay.
But isn't that weird how Robert still looks younger now than Robert Pattinson still looks younger now than Christian Bale did then. It's weird. It's just like two different guys that look very different.
I was gonna say there's something
And
about Christian Bale's face that feels very
masculine, old,
very sharp.
mannish.
You know, like yeah.
But also brutish.
Bale.
Also, Bale absolutely did the roid cycle for Batman. He was so much more beefy and like.
Well, he's no stranger to body transformations.
Yeah, that's true. Anyway, really looking forward to that. I'm sure we'll talk plenty about it in the coming weeks as many other things break. We'll be back. We're good, right, Grant?
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, we'll be back in a couple of weeks. I haven't plugged our social media once. What am I doing here? Follow us on Spotify, Apple Music, TikTok, YouTube, Part-Time Otaku Podcast. You're listening to us. We're here bi-weekly. We do the post-show every other week on what we're watching, and we will, at some point in the future, we have no dates yet, but Grant and I are both reading Berserk Deluxe Volume Edition number 2 right now. I don't know when we're going to wrap it up, but when we do, Grant, we'll be back.
We're podding.
And we're going to be back in Glorious Video, okay? So
yes.
Thanks for dealing with this, and we'll catch you next time. Grant, go ahead, say the thing.
Bye, guys.
Cheers.